Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It sure is a pleasure to be with you again. I just got off the phone with a lovely lady in California. She's a YouTube viewer. Chris is going to bring me in someone that said I was laughing at him. I don't laugh at anybody in terms of making fun of anybody. I do believe in karma, but I never do that. So I want to check that out and see what it is. But this morning I have about a half hour to be with you. And I really want to address this comment about the proteins, because someone sent me this long thing about these ridiculous 7-day protein tests where people go on protein in 7 days and they lower their blood pressures and blah, 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 blah. And that's all bull crap. I can tell you when you study proteins and you study health, there is no way protein is a healthy sort of substance. The body can't use protein at all in the first place. When you examine the digestive process of proteins, you find that amino acids is more the issue. The other issue is that when you look at the human body, it is not designed as a protein-eating species. It does not have the level of hydrochloric acid. It does not have the short intestinal tract for putrefaction. It has major absorption, which is much more than the omnivores and the carnivores. Carnivores are completely a different structured animal. There is so many reasons, and I've tried to give this out. There was a comment that this gentleman made. Let's see what your name is here, my friend. If it continues on here. But there was a comment you made about how it lowers blood pressure and controls blood sugar. I'm going to tell you, I've seen well over 150,000 people, and I've had 40 years of this. Those people that are diabetics, check your blood sugars. Protein makes your blood sugar go up, especially when you're controlling it well with carbohydrates, fruits, and vegetables. Have a protein meal and see what happens to your blood sugars. Also, there was a comment made that, of course, when you have real kidney weakness, you can't do proteins because it hurts them. Now, let me see. When you have a weakness, protein can hurt it, but protein doesn't hurt you until you have a weakness. What kind of chemistry do you think makes the weakness in the first place? It's protein. Because carbohydrates don't beat you up. Carbohydrates are mainly base chemistry. So you're looking at protein, which is more the acid side of chemistry. That's the nitrogen side. And even though medical doctors have nitrogen all screwed up in their minds, too much nitrogen is acidic. It really breaks down. You have proteins that are not as acidic, and you have proteins that are very acidic. And you could say that about complex sugars. You could say that about starch too. That basic sugars are more base, and then the more complex chemistry, you get more acidic, and you could say that about all of that. But this ridiculous notion that the human body, that protein somehow makes the physical body better blood pressure, it's a blood pressure that goes up from proteins. Look at Dr. Oz. He took 12 people, took them to a zoo, took them off of their protein diets, which were causing the high cholesterols, which were causing all the kidney weaknesses, was causing all the cholesterols. He took them off of those protein diets for 12 days and put them all on fruits and vegetables, and what happened? Every one of them, all their stats came down. So I don't know where you're getting your stats and your figures here, my friend, but in reality, this is bogus. Any 7-day study is ridiculous. There's been years of study of protein consumption and the effect upon colon cancer. And last year was a 30-year study linking protein diets to colon cancers. I have people in here that followed the Atkins diet that lost their bladder, that had strokes, had heart attacks. It is unbelievable what proteins do. If you want to continue to eat protein, that's up to you, my friend. But this channel will not promote the use of proteins whatsoever. I've showed medical doctors this for years. It stills pain. It makes pain, it escalates pain in the body. When you take people off of protein, the pain goes away. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. So, I'm sorry, whoever, I don't know if I have the other half to have your name here, my friend. So I will say that don't get trapped in this protein myth that's out there. I've had medical doctors for years yeah, I think this is all part of this same thing, and I know you're trying to show over here as well. some other issues with that. So here's another one about conclusions of a short-term high-protein diets alter renal hematology, basically high uric acid, blah, 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 blah. No kidding. All I can say is that there's so many reasons why that you would not do proteins. And I can tell you, there was a mention about bodybuilders in here. I've got a bodybuilder right now that if you mention high-protein diets, he'd probably cock you. He's just one of many that I have, professional athletes that now have rheumatoid arthritis. A couple of them are in surgeries now because of what the proteins did to the kidneys and the effect that backed up into the lymph system, creating extreme acidosis, the extreme loss of calcium, and the loss of bone tissue, and then the end result of extreme body pain. Arnold Schwarzenegger is another example of that process. Some of these people have had to have open heart and stuff like that. There is absolutely no bona fide conclusion that one would have a high-protein diet. It doesn't fit in our species. It doesn't fit in chemistry. It's the acid side of chemistry. It doesn't fit in any shoe that you put it on. It doesn't fit anywhere. These 7-day tests and stuff, those are bogus type of craps. I don't go for any of that kind of crap. You're going to control your blood pressure with protein. You're going to control your blood sugars. Believe it or not, people think that. And sometimes, until you get on a raw food diet, do you really see the effect of protein on diet. You would if you were having starch and you quit starch and put protein. But when you get off of protein and you go on fruits and vegetables, you're going to find your blood sugar hovering down. Maybe some fruits will escalate it as you glucose load. But you're really going to see what protein does to blood sugar even. And it's amazing to see it. And I have hundreds of cases of diabetes, hundreds of cases currently right now, thousands through the years. And so I'm very aware of blood sugars. I'm very aware of protein and blood sugars, very aware of protein on kidneys, very aware of this. It's one thing to see a 7-day study. It's another thing to spend 40 years and 150,000 clients. And I look at all these long-term studies that relate to what happens to proteins on people. And none of this that you bring up here to me is valid at all in that, including the design of the human structure. So I will say this. Thanks for bringing it up. I do appreciate that. But it's enough to say that definitely, if you want to stay on a protein diet, you go right ahead. For this health channel, I want all my clients and my friends and my people off of protein, and you'll see the big difference that it makes in your health, and then go back on protein and show you what happens, especially anybody in pain or anybody with kidneys breaking down, anything like that. And you got to realize the same chemistry breaks you down at any level of the body. And protein doesn't just break you down when you're already breaking down. It's what breaks you down. You have to realize the acid side of chemistry is the corrosive side, and proteins play more in that ballpark than it does in base chemistry ballparks. Just the way it is. Got a lot to go over here. You guys inundated me with so many questions and so many beautiful comments. I can't tell you how much I love you all. It's been a long road. This protein battle is a good example. Plenty of medical doctors. Look at the natural hygienic group of people. Plenty of medical doctors in there dispel the protein myth. A lot of books written on that in the natural hygienic movement, especially around the early 1900s. A lot of physicians like Thoreau. There's just tons of them. Just wrote book after book. Even Fry wrote some on that, but lots of books. Walkers and your Erets, and just tons of people. There's a lot of people beyond them that wrote about the effects of proteins on the human body. And so this myth has been just not put to rest. People just love to dig into this protein myth, and I suggest you lose that myth, and that you get into the foods that are designed for the human body. Regardless of what we've been doing to ourselves genetically, we have to reverse that. We have a serious genetic problem in our children, and we have to reverse that. And you can't reverse that on proteins. I've never seen protein rebuild the human body from a point of disease. I've never seen. You put a cancer, this is what medical doctors do. They put you on chemo and then they put you on high protein diets. You rarely, 2% maybe, come out of that alive. You put people on raw fruits and vegetables and you're way up there. And if you use the herbs, you're up at 95% come out of it. That's a lot. If I was in Las Vegas and I'm gambling and I could gamble here, I've got 95% chance I'm going to win $1 million. Over here, I've got 2 or 3% chance I'm going to win $1 million. I don't think that really gives, I think it's obvious which way you're going to go. Now let's see what this is, because I've never made fun of anybody. I believe it was that laugh it off as something the normal YouTube viewer could easily cure. What are you talking about? I don't understand. I don't know what you're talking about. Laughing it off here. What it is. No one's made note here of what you're talking about. What condition it is. There's nothing you can't cure. If you think that's laughing it off, I'm sorry. But there's nothing you can't cure. I know how you all suffer. And if you've got that wrong from the way I conduct myself, then I think you've got something wrong here, because I take it all extremely serious. I think most of you know that I'm extremely serious about everything I do here. Maybe too serious. But when you sit behind my desk and you see what people suffer with, I take it extremely serious. So it's an insult to me that you think I laugh something off. And I don't take that well either, because really this is about helping you all get well. And, if you've got a problem, it's curable. Wake up to that. If you've been to physicians that haven't helped you, you've been to the wrong ones, okay? We have a planet full of wrong physicians. But you're on a YouTube channel that can tell you that you have the ability to cure yourself no matter what it is. Some things are real simple that you'd be surprised that medical doctors, and you've worked years and years and years and you can't get, but it's very simple to remedy it. There's a lot of that out there. And maybe that's where you took that. So I apologize that you took that wrong, but there are some things that are very simple. And I look at some of these medical doctors and I'm saying, they're not in a curative stance, which is jaw-dropping. It's jaw-dropping to a lot of people that not realize that the allopathic community isn't about curing anything. And people that have been walking down those roads, and you see it in naturopath as well. And it's frustrating to me to see the naturopathic community at such a low level of understanding of health and vitality. It's disgusting. So some people have been on long journeys to try to get well on things that are simple to get well on. And that's not laughing it off. It's a sad thing. So there's whatever you have here, my friend, it's all curable. The sad thing I see is a lot of people have parents and loved ones that have died from something that was very curable. That's what is upsetting to me. But, I care about people. I love people. I consider us all one. And so I get upset sometimes when I see our loved ones passing when they didn't have to. I believe that things are as they should be. I can't believe it any other way, because I can't judge the Supreme Being and why that person needed to translate or why that needed to happen. I don't try to judge that, because I have no way and I don't want to know. That's like taking on things you don't need to know. That's like confusing you or adding so much to your plate, or very narcissistic or egotistical attitude, knowing. So if you've mistaken what I said, I kindly and want you to forgive that. Wait a minute, here's some of it Chris gave me.